Well, well, well. Welcome to the Persona 3 Reload review, because it's the gift that came out of nowhere. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. I remember getting Persona 5 when it came out, and funny enough, I didn't like it. You see, at the time I was a gamer, but I only played the AAA usuals, such as Call of Duty and the year's newest Assassin's Creed, and I never really played a turn based game outside of, once again, a casual game, Pokemon. So to dive into something as complex as Persona 5 was jarring to the point where I got bored. Then years later, I got into a little franchise. You might know it. Yes, that's right. Yakuza got me into Persona. Let me explain. So much like the Persona games, Yakuza has a lot of dialogue and story elements, and once again, I was unaware of its game. After beating most of the franchise, Persona 5 Royal came out. This is where I dipped back into the franchise during the height of COVID, and I ended up loving it. While Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time, I got so busy playing games out of my element, such as 2D platformers and Final Fantasy, etc., that I never got to go back to Persona 3 and 4 despite owning them. This is when the silver lining happened. Persona 3 Reload was announced and would be included on Xbox Game Pass. Initially starting Persona 3 was weird. This is because it had been many years since I'd even played a Persona game. It was also released in a very weird time. In the span of weeks, we would have many games such as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Yakuza 8, Rise of the Ronin, and many more that I still have not played. Two franchises and two games I was looking forward to were a whole lot more important than Persona 3. So I started to look and realize that a similar situation was happening, just like Persona 5. I started playing other games and I started getting busy and ended up not wanting to play Persona 3 at the time. This was until one fateful night, aka 2 weeks ago. I turned on my Xbox, downloaded Persona 3 just because I needed to have it downloaded. I'm like, why not? And then I decided to click play, and I was pleasantly surprised. Persona 3 was excellent. The title, the intro, the characters, the music, the gameplay. I was back in this world, and this gameplay engrossed me. It became my life for a month. Persona 3 Reload follows you, a silent protagonist, who's a high school student that returns home after his parents die in a car crash. The game has a dark story that involves facing death and fighting for what you want. The game has a theme of death and seemingly deals with a dark theme and excellence in its storytelling. The main story deals with violence and overall has a dark tone that's much appreciated. The gameplay involves day-to-day activities and the night combat. The day-to-day life includes exploring the city, making relationships with people, and that's very pivotal to gameplay later on. And both side stories and activities all lead to gameplay at night. The night gameplay involves you exploring the region that appears called Tartarus. At Tartarus, there are 200 floors where you explore and fight shadows. Here, the gameplay is a traditional, role-playing and graphically pleasing game. The main character and party members summon a creature called a persona in order to defeat these shadows. You swap personas to use or use special moves to defeat enemies and runs that almost feel roguelike. Abilities such as Shift exist to swap to party member after using a move that's weak against an enemy. Persona 3 stands tall against other releases this year around the same time. Reload is a complex, great entry to the franchise, and I believe it's definitely a must-play for Persona fans. And if you're new to the series, a great starting point. And now, it is inevitable that I finally play Persona 4. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel for more reviews and drop a comment down below and let me know what your first entry was into the Persona franchise and what game is your favorite.